So the governor of Georgia is declaring a state of emergency over some gun violence that happened over the weekend. She is sending out the National Guard to stop gun violence. I guess in order to stop the gun violence, you need an even greater force of violence instead of actually like addressing the actual problem and figure out why it's happening. Let's just send in the military and threaten to shoot everybody that doesn't obey.
Now on Georgia, also hard hit by the coronavirus outbreak, also hit by a surge of violence. The governor has now declared a state of emergency there, activating up to 1,000 National Guard troops. Atlanta's Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms will join us live in just a moment. But first, let's start with Steve Olsen-Samy with the latest. Good morning to you, Steve.
Good morning to you, TJ. There are many here who feel that the government.
Just a quick thought. I mean, it's like the cops in Georgia can like kill a bunch of people, and it's not any kind of emergency. But when civilians start killing people, that's when you need to bring in the military.
The governor didn't really need to do this to put troops again on the streets of Atlanta, that this was a political move. But the governor is saying that if the city can't control its gun violence, then he will.
Military vehicles and as many as 1,000 troops from the Georgia National Guard are protecting state buildings in Atlanta this morning after Georgia's governor declared a state of emergency. The troops are a response to gun violence that wounded more than 30 people and killed 5.
Okay, wait a minute. So why are they protecting the government buildings if this is about civilian violence? That doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
8-year-old Secoria Turner was killed outside this Wendy's restaurant by men with long guns who set up barricades and had taken over the street after 27-year-old Rayshard Brooks was killed here at the hands of a white police officer. The restaurant had become a memorial, but there were still shootings.
These aren't police officers shooting people on the streets of Atlanta. These are members of the community shooting each other.
The extraordinary.
Are you sure it wasn't, white nationalists and the such that have popped up and started assaulting people and killing people, and some of it being blamed on Black Lives Matter?
The amount of gun violence is hitting cities across the country and hitting black communities the hardest. In Chicago this holiday weekend, 77 people were shot. 14 of them died, including 7-year-old Natalie Wallace.
You robbed everything.
Oh, Chicago's gun violence is, for the most part, it's all due to poverty. If we were to address poverty in Chicago and actually fix it, you would see the amount of gun violence drop.
Everything.
And in New York City, gun incidents were up 130% compared to last year, according to the NYPD. They say the push for police
According to the NYPD, it's well known that they like to, twist things and, lie on the reports and everything to make it seem like crime is worse so that they're needed. I wouldn't really trust the NYPD. Let's have an outside source check what's up.
Forms have made it harder for officers to protect residents of any color.
They are afraid if they're making an arrest, that if their knee goes on the back of someone that they are fighting their life for, that they could be prosecuted.
Listen to the way he, did you hear how he said that? Fighting for their life. Okay, this is, he's talking about, Brooks being killed and the cops being charged. The cops were not fighting for their lives. A lot of the times when cops have put people into chokeholds and stuff and killed them, the cops weren't fighting for their lives. Cops like this, pretty much all cops, make it seem like cops are constantly fighting like tooth and nail against people they kill, when video evidence always shows otherwise.
Investigators here are offering a $10,000 reward for any information that leads them to the two gunmen who they believe killed this little girl. George?
Steve Osunsami, thanks.